Did you know that 75% of young adults who struggle with mental health issue does not seek help? Partly because of the myth surrounding this. Welcome to the first episode of the Thoughtfulness podcast, where we dive into important issues that affect our daily life. I'm Abiodun, your host, and today we are going to be discussing mental health issues affecting the young adults and the myth surrounding this. This myth can cause serious consequences that prevent people from seeking help. Today, we are going to be breaking down this myth, share life experiences, and also seeking the expert insight. Stay tuned as we uncover the truth behind this misconception and the ways in which we can help each other. Welcome back. To debunk this myth, I've invited a colleague, Mr. Oladokun. He's a mental health nurse and advocate. Welcome on the show, Mr. Oladokun.
Thank you, Abiodun, for having me.
Thank you. So let's go straight to the point. So the first question on the show is, there's a common belief that young people are too young to experience serious mental issues. How true is this?
Oh, well, I won't actually really say I want to negate people that believe this myth or say they are wrong or something like that, but I will use science, I will use fact to elaborate on this. In fact, there is actually data that let us know that half of all the cases of mental illness are being detected as early as 14, and young people are actually subjected to so many things in terms of pressure, like academic, even peer pressure is actually part of things that young people do go through, and even transitioning into, it might actually be a changing career, it might be a change of schools, it might be a change of environment, it might even be something as simple as your family moving to another country and you trying to start building
afresh.
Yeah, do you understand? So that will actually become something like a prayer, and most of the time we have something we call elastic limit, our ability to withstand stress that is different for individual, and for young people it's actually not different. We also react to stress differently, and for mental illness, for any problem affecting mental health, young people are not actually exempt.
Thank you so much for that. Another myth is that talking about mental health issues can make it worse. I hear that often. Okay. So what can you say about this?
Yeah, so that's actually another one. And I will say again, this myth are actually persisting in our community, in our environment, because of, I won't say lack of understanding, but I would say maybe the education is actually not enough. The awareness for people is actually not enough. But because I've actually seen I've seen people that once you give them information, they are able to reflect on it and say that, okay, this is actually the facts, this is actually the myth. So, talking about mental health problem, talking about mental illness is actually, it doesn't make it worse. Let me make that clear. And even in fact, it's the opposite, in the sense that when you talk about mental illness, and we're having this kind of conversation around mental health problem, mental illness, it's enable people to seek help. Do you understand? And one of the things that people find difficult to do is really seeking help. People will have malaria, people will have headache, people will have pain, they will go to their GP, they will go to their doctors, they will go to the nurse, they will go to the pharmacist. But when they are feeling down, when they are not feeling up to task with things that they used to do normally, they will feel like, I shouldn't discuss this with someone. It's more like you having an headache that you see the doctor. It's more like you having a pain that you see the doctor. So it is important to really talk about these things so that people seek help. And at the end of the day too, we are inadvertently removing something like what we call stigma. When we talk about this openly, people feel that, this is actually normal. This is something.
Yeah, I feel like people tend to shy away from talking about mental health issue, mental health illness. They want to keep to themselves when it comes to talking having discussions surrounding mental health issues.
I agree with you, and it actually tends to be because of the stigma that is associated with mental
definitely.
illness. But when people are having this conversation around this, celebrities are talking about it, nurses are talking about it, teachers are talking about it, almost everybody in the community are talking about it. It will feel as a normal part of everyday life conversation, and people will also see it as a normal thing they can discuss about.
Glad. Lovely. Thank you. And finally, we often hear that people dismiss mental health struggles in young adults. Like most of the people feel like it doesn't occur in young adults. So most time they will tell the young adults it's just a phase. You can go through it. You pass that stage. Can you just briefly discuss something on this?
So, yeah, thank you for that. And when I was in training, and at the time that I started practicing as a mental health nurse, I used to say a particular diagnosis they call enduring maybe psychosis, enduring mental health problems. So what I want to emphasize is the fact of enduring. Enduring means these things has actually been going over and over. It's been there for a long time. And this is the reason why not addressing it when individual is young can be a problem at the end of the day. So calling mental health problem or mental illness as a phase is actually very untrue. And it is experts, it is professionals that can actually highlight that, okay, this is actually not a mental health issue. This is not a mental illness. And this is just, maybe it might be something like a reaction to, whatever is happening around that time. Because not every time that individual is sad, that will say individual is depressed. Yes. There is actually a very clear distinction between being sad and being depressed. In fact, sometimes I've seen people mistaking being angry to aggression, or being angry as to, this person is actually maybe displaying some 5 minutes of madness or so. Anger is a normal emotion. Sadness is a normal emotion. Yeah. There are distinctions between all this and other. But when you have professional input, when you have expert input, it is then you'll be able to know that, okay, this is actually an illness that we really need to tackle. This is actually like a phase or a particular period of time that individual just need maybe support around that time also. So calling it a phase, it is important to address everything as based on its merit. Let me put it that way. So if you are going through a particular thing at a particular point in time, it's best to seek professional help. You understand? Yes. When you seek that professional help, you'll be able to know that, okay, they'll be able to tell you based on experiences, based on their knowledge that, okay, this is what we need to do at this time. Okay. We need to go further at this time. So, and at the end of the day, if let's say this is really the mental health issues, they'll be able to tackle it at that time, and it won't be what they will be classifying as enduring in the later part of that individual. So I would say most of the time, let's not dismiss any kind of struggle. Do not dismiss it. Address it. Seek professional help. Once you address it, it will give you something like a rest of mind that, okay, you've tackled this. And even if it's maybe your call in the future or so, you are better equipped to know how to handle it. You understand? Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Now let's talk about what you can do if you or someone you know is struggling about their mental health. The first thing is to educate yourself what mental health means and what mental illness means. When you know this, you're able to support anyone. The second thing is to seek help, professional help to be precise. It could be through counseling, therapies, or helpline. These resources are always available. The third thing is self-care, regular exercise, as well as maintaining adequate sleep that help reduces stress.
Yeah, the best way you can support an individual, maybe like a friend, a family that is struggling with their mental health, is to create what we call a safe haven. Create a safe, non-judgmental space for them to open up to you. And if you're able to have this conversation with them, you will encourage them to seek professional help. And let them know that seeking this professional help is not like they are weak. It's not like, it doesn't mean that they have something like a character flaw, that the way they used to say it is even what we call a sign of strength. Like this individual is actually very strong. From my own understanding, there is another definition of competence.
Okay.
In the sense that when you say somebody is competent, we always feel that this individual know how to do everything. Do you understand? But in terms of definition of competence is that the ability to know that this is your limit. This is what I cannot do. This is when I need another person to call me to do this, is actually another level of competence that is very crucial in our everyday life.
Can I ask you why these myths concerning mental health issues affecting young adults still persist, and how can we correct the misconception surrounding this myth?
Oh, thank you for that question, and it's very crucial for us to discuss this. These myths are persisting in our environment, in our society. Like I said the other time, is because of the education is not enough, the awareness is not enough. These conversations are not really happening like the way it should be. If these conversations are happening in our every unit of our environment, and it starts from, they will say charity starts from home. You understand? Yeah. Charity begins at home. This conversion needs to be happening even within a small family unit. Okay. And it is what is happening within the small family unit that will translate it into what is happening in the society at large. So when we are having conversation with our children, our siblings, our father, our mother, when they get out, maybe to their place of work, to their schools, when this conversation happens, it won't be very strange to them. It won't be difficult for them to be part of that kind of conversation. So education is very key. Awareness is very key. And awareness doesn't need to come from government alone. It can come from even individual like you. You are doing a very good job by trying to put this thing into the broadcasting space, telling people this is mental health, this is mental illness. So education is very key. And us having what we call a true, open, accurate, and transparent conversation around this mental health issues is also very crucial too. And that is when people see facts as different from the myths. People see the truth, and I would say people see the light. Do you understand? And it's very important for people to see the light. That doesn't mean that having mental health issues is being in dark. No. When you have light, even you appreciate darkness more. And that is even very, very, very key. You will know that fact is something you need to really hold on to navigate through every aspect of life. Because when some things happen, you'll be like, oh, my life is over, I need to end it and all. But when you're able to say that, oh, there is a particular individual that was depressed, and at the end of the day, this individual is doing well, it means that whatever struggle you are experiencing, with good information, with seeking help, with having good support, you can overcome it. And we talked about, remember, Simon Biles is actually a very good individual that we can cite, or somebody supporting mental health, talking about mental health illness. In Tokyo 2020, she really struggled with her mental health. And what she was able to do is to go back, re-strategize, seek help. And when you notice her thereafter, she was able to come off in flying colors. And that's how best we can actually deal with these issues in our community.
As we are rounding up, remember that mental health is as important as physical help. And it's important to seek for help when you need one.
That's another line I actually agree on. Mental health is just as physical health. And that makes me remind of a very important phase in my life. And that was when I just come into the UK. And I remember I actually struggled with that. And it was a testing time in my life. And but I was able to source energy from people that are very dear to me, people that are close to me. I have so many support at that time, even at workplace, with my family, even with friends. So that helped me to navigate. And I wasn't quiet. Let me put it that way. I was not quiet. I was not just, I didn't go back to my shell, brooding on what is happening in my life or seeing it as a calamity. I saw it as an opportunity for growth. What I did was that I know that I need to work more on myself. So I practice more. I practice daily. I was doing more for that exam. I was burning the midnight candles, let me put it that way. That was the first one. The second thing is that I wasn't quiet. Not that I actually sought the professional help, but I sought support. I sought support from my place of work. I sought support from my family, and I sought support from my friend. That was very key. And I also have people that are there for me. I have my family that are there for me. I have the support of my workplace that are there for me. And there is this thing that I said to my people in place of work. What I did was that I said, okay, this is actually my last attempt for me to do this exam. And I want my life to remain the way it was, even before the exam actually come into it. I don't want my schedule to be affected in any way. Why am I saying this? I have my last semester exam to do in school, and I have this particular exam in the UK to prepare for. For me to do that particular exam in school, I will have to travel back to Nigeria to complete that last semester. It would have been easy for me to say, oh, this UK life is actually very important than what I've been doing for the past 5 years. Okay, let me focus on this UK. But I was like, no, I can do this with support. Give me that leave, I'll still travel. I will prepare for this exam, and I know that I'm going to pass this exam. So, and they supported me. They granted that leave, and I was looking forward to that exam, whereas I was preparing for this particular one. So, although it wasn't easy, and this is what I want to say. My dad used to say, oh, blessed memory, that even that thing that I think is easy is not easily easy. Do you understand? So don't think that
until you put yourself in that shoe, that is when you actually know what that person is actually feeling.
That's absolutely right. So it won't be like a roller coaster. It won't be like a walk in the park. You will meet some obstacles that you have to overcome, and that's actually, they will say, obstacles are the forerunner of miracles. A road that doesn't have obstacles leads to nowhere. That's just how it is. You are your hero, and you are your Superman. You are your best self when you put in all the work that you have to do. And with all this, success is definitely awaiting you. And all the best in your endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Today, we've been able to debunk the myths surrounding the mental health issue affecting the young adults. And gladly, our guest, Mr. Oladokun, was able to tackle and help us understand the misconceptions surrounding all these myths. We are glad that he was able to open up to us and share his own side of the experience, how he struggled a bit when he came into the UK and about his exam. Do not forget to seek help when you need one and help spread the awareness. Thank you so much for listening to us and watching us today. Don't forget to share, like, and repost.
Feeling thankful for the love and the happiness we chase.